right, we'll begin with the opening statement from Coach and then take questions after, so raise your hands.
Oh, we're excited to get back to Coleman. Had a tough road one. Guys came through at Arkansas, so it's great to be back here. First game with the students back in classes, so hopefully the environment will be good. LSU's a good team, and they started the season 12-1. They had a good win against Arkansas. You know, they've got KJ Williams, second leading scorer in the SEC behind Brandon Miller, so they've got some offensive firepower. Adam Miller can really score it. I mean, they've got good balance besides Williams, so they're a good offensive team. They're well coached. They run a lot of stuff. We're gonna have to be ready to go. I think our guys are pretty locked down. We had a good practice this morning. Guys seem ready to go. The environment should be good. It should be a fun day Saturday.
Joey.
Jake Bradley's a guy that has had to stand up and take over for Burnett while he's been out injured. Just what have you seen from his progress and developing as a freshman, and what kind of teammate do you see him in his interactions with other players and coaches?
I mean, he's a winner. He's won everywhere he's been. You know, he does a little bit of everything. He's high IQ kid. His teammates love playing with him. He sets them up. He's a pass first point guard. He can get downhill and score. He's great in pick and roll. He finds Charles. He finds the shooters. Defensively is where he kind of mentioned he took over from Amari. We kind of moved Sears from the point to the two, and we don't necessarily have positions like that anyways. We're pretty positionless, but kind of took over that defensive stopper spot that Amari had. He's done great with it. He's tough, physical. He just finds ways to impact the game on both ends of the floor, and he's a winner. And we've been winning a lot of games with him, playing a lot of minutes.
Awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned KJ Williams. You guys have had a lot of bigs that you've had to go against this year, but kind of not one just like him because he can shoot the ball from behind the arc. I believe he's 44% from three. What kind of challenges does that create for your defense, having to kind of pull
it's
out?
Definitely a lot different, than what we've seen. Charles has done well with like a Sheboy type. This is not Sheboy. Sheboy's great. The interior rebounds it well. Williams can step out, knock down threes. I think he's made 7 in the game this year already. So we're gonna have to do a little bit different with them. We may have different options on them, different coverages. We're gonna see if we can figure out, or maybe some changes throughout the course of the game, depending on how it goes. But it's not a deal where we're gonna make 5 before we make an adjustment. That's not the plan. So we're not trying to let him go 7-9 or whatever he did he's had multiple games where he's made big number 3. So yeah, we're fully aware that he can shoot. I mean, Matt did well bringing him from Murray with him.
Mason.
Alabama and LSU are currently 3rd and 4th in 3-point percentage. Just what's it like kind of defending a team that can shoot so well from the perimeter? And how does that in the back of your mind, like, oh, this could turn into a shootout because both teams can shoot so well?
Yeah, I mean, they've got their main guys that can make shots. Miller's a high-level shooter, Williams a high-level shooter, kind of like we've got Miller and Sears, and then we just got to know who the other, those two can't get threes off. And they're going to obviously run a bunch of sets for them to get them off, so who's going to win? He runs a lot of really good offensive sets to get his shooter shots. Our guys going to be locked in, know what's going on, defend them the way we've gone over. That's the big question. Then on our end, can we get Sears, Miller? But I feel like we've got some other shooters that can really get going. Don Welch's career, almost 40% shooter at Bonaventure for 4 years. Rylan Griffin can really shoot it. Noah Gurley's shown he's more than capable. Noah Clowney went 3 or 4 last game. I feel like we've got other Jake Quinterly went 50% in SEC play from 3 2 years ago. We've got other guys that can shoot that if you don't guard them, we can sting you a little bit. So hopefully, I think we've got more capable shooters across the board. They definitely have some other guys other than, Miller and Williams, but I feel like we got a little bit more depth in that regard, but our defense can have to take their shooters off the line, not give them open threes because they're more than capable of making them.
Nick.
Yeah, when Sears was in the portal, what stood out about him, and did you anticipate him becoming this?
I mean, his shooting stood out. You know, I think, what was he, 42% last year at Ohio, we wanted shooting, needed it, that's why we got him and Don Welch both, we targeted shooting. You know, we also, last year, when Quinterly wasn't playing well, or Quinterly or JD Davidson wasn't playing well, we didn't really have many other options to play the point. We knew Sears could play the point too, so we knew we'd have, at the time when he went in the portal, Quinterly was still up in the air, but we knew, I didn't wanna go into a season where you only have one or two guys that can play the point and really handle the ball, like we want multiple ball handlers, playmakers, so the fact that he could play the point, be a ball handler, a playmaker, and shot it really well was ideal for us. In fact, he's from Alabama, was a bonus. You know, he's an Alabama kid who really wants to play. We like getting kids that want to play for Alabama, whether it's that they're from the state, that they love our style, but we want kids that want to be here, and he wanted to be here. Did I envision this? Look, I knew he was pretty good and watch him. I know the level of that league. We had a handful of players at Buffalo that could have definitely come here and played. So, you know, he's a lead scorer in that league. So I knew he was going to be good. I didn't know he was going to be as good of a creator, being able to play the point like he could. I thought he was more of a scorer, and he can score at a high level. But, I mean, to do what he's doing in the SEC is hard to do. So, I'd probably lying if I said I thought he was going to be this good, but we thought he could be pretty good, though. I mean, you know, we've got a lot of guys exceeding expectations, so we knew Brandon Miller's really good. He's probably better than what a lot of people thought he was going to be, even though we knew he was going to be great. Noah Clowney, I mean, that's why we're as good as we are, because we've got a lot of guys playing pretty good. I mean, got some guys coming along that are going to start playing a little better, I think, too, that might surprise people the second half of the season as well.
Johnny?
Really, Griffin was just telling us how much Quinterly's kind of taken him under his wing, and just been a leader and a mentor.
Who said that?
Grip.
Oh, Riley.
Ryland, sorry,
Okay,
Ryland
yeah,
Griffin
yep,
said
yep.
that Quinterly's kind of taken him under his wing. Just how have you seen him mature as a leader over the years? I know he's had some ups and downs, but the fact that he's still here right now and he's become one of the leaders on this team, how much have you seen him mature in that role?
No, he's come a long ways with that. I mean, he really talks to the young guys, talks to the team as a whole, really values the input he can give to them, and he's played a lot of games. I mean, even talked to like Jaden Bradley. Jaden Bradley's a freshman, talks about learning from Quinterly, learning from Sears, who played a lot of college games already. You know, and JQ's a guy that really wants his teammates to do well, and he's kind of got a bonus year in college with the injury, and he's been able to come back and recover as well as he has. I think he's enjoying his time here. He's enjoying being a leader. He's using all of his experience and helping us be the best we can be, and I think he's enjoying winning again. I mean, his second year with us, we won the SEC, the regular season, and the tournament both. You know, what we did it during COVID when wasn't that many people in the stands, was a little bit different feel that year. Now we're starting to win. He's a big part of it. Doing it back in normal environment. So I think it's been big. We need him to continue to lead. And we tell him, even when he doesn't play great himself, he can still be a great leader. I think that's what he's learning, because before he was cleared to play, he started really leading. After we got beat at TCU in that close scrimmage, he stepped up, and then kind of when he came back and didn't play as well, dropped off a little bit. But no, you don't have to play great. You have to play hard. You got to play the right way. You got to be a great teammate. You can still lead if you're not, playing great. It took him a little bit to get back in the mix, which takes anybody coming back from injury a little while to get back their confidence and everything. So I couldn't be happier for him and his leadership and what he's been doing for our young guys.
Tony?
What's the challenge of playing a team maybe with their back against the wall that's lost? It seems like the last couple teams you've played have kind of had, in some capacity, their back against the wall. A
lot more must-win for them than for us. So to me, that's a maturity test. I told our guys, basketball's an emotional game. You get up for some games. Obviously, Arkansas, with the way that they've been recruiting and, where they were ranked, you're going to get up for that game. Kentucky's Kentucky, you're going to get up for that game. Got the big rival game with Auburn, you're going to get up for that game. you know, LSU's been a rivalry since I've got here, you know, but they've lost 3 in a row. Can you still prepare for LSU losing 3 in a row like you just prepared for Arkansas? To me, that's a sign of maturity. Like, you gotta do what you gotta do if you're gonna compete for an SEC championship, and you can't lose home games to teams you're supposed to beat because you didn't prepare for them. So we challenge our guys, like, are your video numbers, you know, are you on video looking at scouting reports or personnel like you would be if we were playing Auburn, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky? If they are and we're doing what we're supposed to do, then, you know, we come out with the energy we need to come out with, and, you know, we'll show them we've matured. So we'll see how mature we are tomorrow. But I like the group. We had a good practice today. Their energy was really good in practice, coming off a big road win when they could have been tired. I thought they were great. So I think we are starting to grow up. We're showing some maturity. But yeah, I mean, it takes what it takes, and you got to be ready to play every game, no matter whether you're coming off a big win or a loss or tight game or whatever. Like, we got to be ready to go every game.
James.
I think I got 2 for you. So first, we spoke with Noah Connolly earlier, and he said that, you know, it doesn't matter if a guy weighs more than him, less than him, has a skill advantage, disadvantage. They all bleed the same blood, is what he said. Have you ever had a freshman that was that confident in his abilities to kind of go up against anybody in the country?
I mean, we've had some good freshmen here, but he's got a different mindset. He's very mature, very professional. You know, you've got guys that say they want to be pros, and then they act nothing like a pro when they walk in, and then all of a sudden your behavior's gonna change if you get lucky enough to have a chance to be a pro. Like, no, he's one that comes in from day one, acts like a pro, thinks like a pro, takes care of his body like a pro. Like, he's very, very mature for his age. So I don't know if we've had some pretty good freshmen. Primo's pretty good. You know, we had some in Buffalo too, but he's at the top. Shoot, he's playing with one right now. Brandon's a pretty confident kid too. So it's a good question. I mean, he's good. I mean, different than Brandon, brings a lot of different stuff to the table. He's good, and he's going to be a pro at some point here.
And the other one was actually about the other Noah Gurley. Just can you talk to me a little bit about his leadership? He spoke to me and said that, you know, you really challenged him to kind of speak up more and kind of take that leadership role. How has he done that for you?
Yeah, he's been a lot better. I mean, he's the same thing I kind of told Quinterly, like, you don't have to play great to speak. Like, you've got a lot of knowledge, you played a lot of college basketball games. These freshmen are looking to some guys who have experience in college, and can you speak up? Like, you don't have to go, you know, 5 or 6 from 3 to speak up. You can, as long as you play unselfish and play hard, like, guys respect you. Like, you prepare, you take care of your body, he's in the gym as much as anybody on this team working. He's mature, and he's starting to speak up, be more vocal, be a better leader, and we need it. You don't have to be a starter, leading scorer, you don't have to be any of that. You just have to show some courage, show some leadership, speak when something needs to be said, you know, have the courage to address your teammates when they need to be addressed. You know, we gotta hold guys accountable for effort and stuff, and he's been rebounding the ball a lot better lately too. We challenge him to be a better rebounder, so that's part of the effort thing. I think when he's playing hard, I think he's starting to understand that you don't have to make every shot, just play hard, play the right way, and guys will respect you, and you stand up and say something in the locker room.
Charlie.
Being that you're essentially halfway through the season, what areas do you maybe see that can still improve?
Our rebounding, if you go look at the analytics, it's the only thing that we're not very good at, both sides of the ball. Like, look at SEC only games, we're in the bottom half, offensive rebounding rate, defensive rebounding rate. At one point, I think we were 4th in the country in offensive rebounding rate. It just disappeared for whatever reason. You know, we started making shots and taking care of the ball more, and guys forgot they had to rebound the ball. So we got to get back to where we're rebounding it better. Our turnovers have been an issue for a majority of the season. They've been much better the last 3 games, but that's something we got to continue to work on every day. Today wasn't the best day in practice with that. I thought our energy was great, but we turned the ball over a little bit too much. Our free throw shooting's gotta get better. We've got guys that are shooting nowhere close to where they should be shooting. They need to get in the gym, they need to work, they need to get better at it. Our defensive focus and intensity for the full 40 minutes, I mean, it's been better. The Gonzaga game was awful. Since then, it's gotten a lot better, but I think we take periods off. We'll get a lead and relax, you know, and we're getting better at that too, but we're still not quite, even in the Arkansas game, if you look at the last 2-3 possessions of the game, I didn't think we guarded like we had from the 5-minute mark to the 1-minute mark. Those 4 minutes were great. Then for the last minute, when we got a lead, we didn't close the game like we needed to close the game. So playing a full 40, we gotta do a better job of that, but those are some of the areas we've been talking to the guys about. So there's always gonna be areas to improve. As soon as you think you got it all figured out, when the bottom falls out. So those are the biggest areas right now we're talking to the guys about improving.
2 more, Mike.
Just as the season's gone on, what different ways have you seen teams try to attack Brandon and take him out of the game like Arkansas?
Yeah, Arkansas did a great job just denying him catches everywhere, being physical with him, you know, not letting him catch. Yeah, I mean, that's been the biggest one, just denying him the ball. So I think Brandon's gotten a lot better at understanding he's gotta be a screener. You know, get your teammates open. We've got enough firepower. And I think he's matured. You saw he went 0 for 0 in the first half and was still playing hard, wasn't frustrated. That stuff that we're looking for, the NBA scouts are looking for. I mean, get in the NBA, that nobody's gonna guard you like that. Like, you got 4 other big-time scorers on the floor with you. So, but we've got a lot of other big-time scorers. If they're gonna lock onto him like some of the teams have been doing, it's a lot easier to score in a 4-on-4 game than it is a 5-on-5. So if they're gonna open the floor up that much and we're able to play, I mean, you look at the rest of our talent, like Quinterly can get by most people in the country. Jaden Bradley can get in the paint. Sears can get in the paint. If Jaden Bradley or Quinterly's breaking people down, you've got Sears spotting up. You've got Charles at the rim. You got Noah Clowney spotting up, who's been shooting it really well. You got Don Welsh, Ron Griffin when Amari gets back. So we've got other weapons that you can use. But I think being physical, denying him the ball, switching him. You know, if he's a screener, you know, teams have switched on to him, they've done that some. Those are the best ways that they've been able to do it. So, but it's hard to keep a player like him down for 40 minutes. So, I mean, you saw he didn't need much. Within a short amount of time at Arkansas, he broke that thing wide open. So, you know, and in the game of basketball, as fast as we play, they're going to be cross-matched. He's going to get stuff in transition. He's going to get stuff in the flow and off that. I think even if teams do that, I mean, he's the lead scorer in the conference league. He's gonna find his way to get loose at some point in the game.
Last one, Mace.
Now, you may not have seen him, but usually after a win, Nick Pringle kind of posts a funny video on Twitter, just kind of celebrating the win. Have you seen those? But more importantly, how is Nick just as a supportive teammate even when he's not getting a lot of minutes?
Yeah, I don't think Nick's actually making those videos, right? Isn't that a company that sends those to him? Yeah, I think I've seen 1 or 2. They're comical, they're nice. Something Nick would do. Yeah. He's funny. So, I mean, he's a good kid. Like, he's a really good kid. I mean, you know, in his minutes, I've talked to him, his minutes aren't necessarily gonna be strictly determined on how well he plays. It's gonna be a lot on matchups. Is Charles in foul trouble? Is there, you know, do we need to get Charles off the floor? You know, is there a game where Clowney can play the 5? He's got, you know, Nick's got to keep getting better and better. There's going to be some games where he can get in and play a lot more than other games, and when he gets in, he's got to play well. I mean, it's not one of those deals where, you know, Brandon and Sears have played really well majority of the year, and we got some other guys as well that they're going to get multiple chances. If you're a guy like him, like you get in the game, you need to play well in the first stretch so that we want to put you back in. So in order to do that, you could be locked in every day in practice. You just got to keep getting better. So he's great with his teammates. I mean, he's never an issue. It's all about winning. He's trying to get better. He's trying to worry about the right things and focus on what he can control and focus on what he needs to get better. And shoot, you see his athleticism. And if he can figure out the mental side of it, the skill side of it, he's got a chance to be a really good player for us. But he's got some work to do, and in the meantime, continue to be a great teammate for us. You know, keep the locker room great, and we enjoy having him on the team.
Thanks, Coach.